All right. So now we're going to move into the onboarding enhancements. And the first one is improve the experience of getting started with Power BI. So basically to simplify users and their use of Power BI, getting started with Power BI is now going to run as a wizard and take you through all the necessary steps to set up and integrate Power BI.
I think there was already a wizard. I think they've improved it and simplified it. This also includes added guidance for those customers who are running Business Central on-premise. There's added guidance about Azure Active Directory registration. Because you have to, that's one of the caveats. If you're running Business Central on-premise, to use Power BI with it, you have to have Azure Active Directory authentication set up.
I think that's where the value really is in letting people know that. All right. Next, we've got a getting started checklist for guided and faster initial setup. I kind of have mixed thoughts on this one. Why set the expectation that the customer can do more and more themselves? Some can, most cannot, right? But, maybe it's good for them to have a checklist to work in tandem with the partner to go over it.
Well, and I think you're exactly right. And if you parse out the description of this carefully, I think you're exactly right. So it says the getting started checklists allows partners to bring checklists to the customer that enable the customer to complete the last mile setup by themselves, not to depend on a consultant partner. So these are tools that partners themselves can build for their client bases to help them get it up and running more quickly. So
if you have control over it,
those are provided by your partner. So you have to rely on your partner for it, right?
Okay.
Now it's a tool that your partner can provide to you that will ultimately need you to use less consulting services. But you have to be engaged with your partner, right? In the first place,
right?
To get that getting started checklist from them that they may have developed, and also, but I do completely agree. I think that it's a little dangerous to imply that you can get completely up and running and live without the assistance of a partner.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know this. The way Microsoft seems to market Business Central is it's relatively easy to use. You can set it up yourself. That seems to be the perception from a lot of people that we kind of talk to,
right.
Which is kind of bad to have the perception, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so hopefully this isn't adding to it.
Yeah, and is it possible to get started up and running on your own? Of course.
Yeah.
And no one's going to dispute that. However, the majority of people are not going to be able to get the system up and running with it configured and set up with their business processes defined in a way that allows them to operate efficiently without someone who understands and has experience with doing it.
Exactly. Even if you're tech savvy or have tech savvy people at your company, you don't have the experience of the actual software. So, all right. Next, we've got in-app contextual help improvements. Once again, could be bad or could be good. Anything that helps, I guess, the customer learn and whatever is a good thing.
Yep. But, so I'm picturing these. There wasn't very much information on these, but visual aids that can be authored by partners who want to put those in apps. But visual aids to help call out new features and how to get started using them. I'm guessing these are like notifications and messages that are going to pop up on the ribbon that kind of prod people to check some new features out.
Yeah. All right. Last but definitely not least is improved company setup experience. I didn't think it was too difficult before. I guess if you're just creating the company, so I'm interested to see how much more simple it can be.
Right. Not many details here.
No, not at all.
But yeah, to your point, there is a kind of initial company setup wizard that you can put into place. My own personal opinion, it was a great start. I'm looking forward to this because I think that could have been expanded so much more. There's so much more potential for walking through that.
Oh, so you're saying add more things to the wizard?
Yeah, like what about setting up your payment terms, your shipment methods, your shipping agents? Right? Make sure your users are all set up in there. I mean, there's a laundry list of potential topics and paths you could guide the users down when they're setting up the system to make sure it's all set up right.
Nice.